All right, this is the fourth piece of that. Being compensated appropriately. How are you adding value? Can you create more value?
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. Obviously, one that people are very passionate about is their income. And the question I would ask, which is the next one, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how close are you to being compensated appropriately?
Do you want me to talk to you about this right now? Do you want to have this
Yeah.
conversation right now, Matthew?
I didn't say like how close do I think you are to being compensated appropriately.
I'm kidding.
And what I would say is that's actually a very low number because you make too much. You just swung to the other side too far.
That's right. That's right.
No, but like what part of like answering these 5 questions, like this is a very important thing, and so being realistic about if you're being compensated appropriately could cause a lot of like personal frustration if you don't feel like you're being compensated appropriately. Now, look, this doesn't mean like quit if you have a job, like quit your job, but you need to start asking yourself some very hard questions. What you'll see is this is the lowest one on mine. Mine was a 3 here. But you know, I like know that and have been, as we've grown this organization, just been very intentional about sacrificing short term for, you know, more of a long term gain, right? But you know, being realistic about where you're compensated is really important. So how would is there something else after this?
Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, so the way I would think about this is more through the lens of the best way to look at it is more like an hourly rate. So take you know, let's say you work 50 weeks a year, 2,000 hours, that's 40 hours. I know a lot of us entrepreneurs work much more than that, but I think that makes the math simple. One of the things you want to make sure is that you're not doing things that are cheaper than the hourly rate that you can get them done for. And so I would actually say, so you don't like get close, is you know, if today take your income, divide it by 2,000 hours, that's your hourly rate, and let's say that's $25 an hour. And you want to get to, you know, $50 an hour. You want to double your income. I would think about delegating and elevating everything that is your $25 an hour work and focusing on the $50 an hour work, right? If you're running a job, like if you're a team member somewhere, this is how we think about it here is like, you know, well, let's talk about it at a landscape place. Like if you're pushing a lawnmower as a landscaper, then you're probably making $25 an hour. If you're a team leader, you're probably making closer to $50 an hour. Well, what do you need to do to go from pushing a lawnmower to being a team leader? You're going to have to learn some management skills. You're going to have to learn some different things that'll ultimately pay $50 an hour. Well, if it's a big landscape company, then they probably, you know, maybe it has an owner, and that owner is making $100 an hour. Well, if I want to make that $100 an hour, like I'm going to have to learn some things, go from being a team leader of landscaping team members to being an owner of a business or to being a leader of a business, and then those are some different skills. And so this kind of, when we think about there's a podcast that we did called The 4 Stages of Growth. This is exactly what that's talking about, is you just need to be really focused on those 4 stages of growth and actually being able to delegate and elevate your way out of it. And so if you feel like you ought to be making more money, then you need to realize like what is the next level up? How are they making more money? And what are the skills required to get that?